There are a few things in my life that I remember very specifically thinking to myself, I could never do that. I would never do that in my life. I could never be able to do that. And then, guess what? I'm not talking about anything like bad, or I'm not talking about things that um, telling yourself I'll never go to jail or stuff like that. I'm talking about things that like are accomplishments, things that you see other people do, and then you tell yourself, man, there's no way I could be able to do what that person has done. One of the things I remember very specifically, I had a friend and he was writing a book, a novel, and he had like 15 chapters. It was like 90 pages being written, and I was younger. I remember thinking to myself, I could never write a book. I could never do that. I don't know how somebody even makes that happen. Another thing I remember specifically is when you hear somebody, hey, Joaquin, estoy hablando. Mira, you want to say hi?
Okay. I'm doing it now.
Okay, can you go out and shut the door? Another one of those things is very specifically when I remember several times seeing somebody lose 50 or 100 pounds. And to me, like someone losing 50 pounds is huge. That's major. That's not just, oh, I went on a diet for a couple of weeks. That's true commitment. That's a lot of weight, right? And I remember many times throughout my life, specifically telling myself, I could never do that. I never just at once just go and lose 50 pounds. Like it's not possible. That's not me. So there are a couple things very specifically that I remember in my mind, and I remember telling myself I could never do those things. And yet I would see other people do them, and I would be happy for them, and I would be, I would celebrate their success and enjoy the fact that they could accomplish those things. But in my head, I tell myself, no, I could never do that. If you think back, there's probably some things in your life that you have seen somebody else do, something else accomplish, and think to yourself, man, I wish I could do that. Or man, I've never been able to do that. Or I would never be able to do that in my life. You hear the saying, never say never, right? Because what happens? We change. Our bodies change. Our minds change. And there's something about mental health and mental wellness that a lot of us seem to forget. A lot of us seem to throw out this idea that we can develop over time. That, for example, I may not be able to pick up 200 pounds right now, but if I go to the gym every week and I start to strengthen my muscles and I start to do those exercises, there will come a day that I can just pick up 200 pounds. I promise you. And everyone believes that. No one would deny that fact. They would say, yeah, that's possible, because it's a generic truth. There's enough of it out there in the world that people would say that. But if you say, maybe you tell yourself, man, I could never have a good relationship. I'll never have a relationship with my parents. Or I will never find I'll never find someone that loves me enough that will want to marry me, or that will want to start a business with. I'll never be able to focus enough to go to school, to get that certificate, that degree, to get that promotion. There are a lot of things in our life that we tell ourselves, man, I'll never be able to do that. That's just not me. And we're forgetting that when it comes to mental health, remember, we're telling ourselves in our mind, right? We're telling ourselves in our head that I will never do those things. But when it comes to mental health, we can grow and we can develop. That just like our physical bodies, our minds can develop over time and strengthen over time. So that, sure, right now, maybe you can't go out and pick up a 200-pound weight, but with consistency and practice and designated effort and specific skills or specific exercises or certain things to develop that physical strength, then you can be confident that you can do that. Because guess what? I did write a book and I lost 50 pounds. So something to think about. What are those things that you're telling yourself that you'll never be able to do? Or what's something that you just, in your life, you just thrown out saying, I'll never be able to do that? And then what would it take to get there? What do you guys think? Write down in the comments below. Are there things that you too have told yourself that you'll never be able to do in your life? I love the quote that says, our problems cannot be fixed with the same mind that created them. In other words, if you have a mindset, if you have a belief system, if in your own head you are thinking one way and then a problem presents itself or a problem is created, then that same mind that created the problem cannot find the solution. You have to have a new mind. You have to change your mind. You have to change your mindset, your ideas, your beliefs. You change the way you see certain things, change the way you see that situation. And so that is one of those things that we often tell ourselves is never going to happen. I'll never be able to see my childhood any different. I'll never be able to see that person as for somebody else than how I see them. I'll never be able to see myself different than the way I know myself, just because of the memories that I have, and I can't change those, right? Or can you? So this idea, one of these things that we can't change things about our outside world because we can't change our mind, I'm telling you, is false. That we can change our minds, we can change our belief systems, we can change our memories, we can change the way we feel about those memories, we can change our thoughts, our thought patterns, we can change all those things, and when we do so, it changes our mind, it changes our mindset, and then we're coming at it at a problem or a situation or just at our lives in general as a new person and able to do and accomplish new things. My hope for you is that you decide to become a creative journalist, that you decide to join the CJEA community. Hit that subscribe button below. Go ahead and just subscribe to this channel. Join us, follow us, because the truth is, when it comes to mental health and mental wellness, that we have a new way. Now let's go share that hope with somebody who needs to hear it today. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.